want to start this off by letting you know I have terrible grammar and punctuation. Now on with my story.
I moved to this house not too long ago, maybe a year. But ever since the first night, I've never felt right here. I remember this so vividly, but my nephew came over since it was my first time sleeping here, and he knows about my stupid fears of moving into a new home. We are about the same age. We stayed up pretty late, maybe like 3 a.m. or somewhere around that. He fell asleep first, and I popped in the only movie I had that just so happened to be Paranormal Activity. I couldn't sleep, it just didn't feel right. The house kept creaking, but I kept telling myself,
"Don't worry about it, man. You're okay."
Then I heard the piano in the living room being played, and my heart skipped a beat. It stopped, and I waited a couple hours to go to sleep. By then it was already 6 a.m.
The next day I woke up and my nephew was gone. He lives right next door and wakes up pretty early, so I didn't expect to wake up and him be there. I left my room and seen my brother cleaning out the hallway closet, and we started talking about school and whatnot. He finished cleaning and started messing around with the piano and taught me a couple things. Then he asked me to play what I was playing the night before. When I told him it wasn't me, we went back and forth blaming each other, then finally came to the conclusion that neither of us did it. We haven't touched the piano since.
A month or two passed, and we finally got the house looking like a house, if that makes sense. I would always wake up at weird times of the night, usually around 3 or 4 a.m. This night in particular, I woke up at 3:45 and went to the kitchen. I was grabbing something to drink, then I saw something out of my peripheral vision go downstairs. I went and actually looked. There was nothing. It wasn't too strange, but it still gave me chills.
A while later, our landlords came by, and I was the only one home, so I let them in and made small talk. Just for shits and giggles, I asked if anyone had ever died here, and his wife, Jan, got really uncomfortable. Right there, I should have packed my shit and left. Then her husband, George, pulled me aside and told me
"We could talk later."
because it upsets his wife. About an hour later, he called me to the basement and told me Jan's best friend shot himself down there. I froze and felt the coldest air go down my neck. It was unreal.
I did my best to forget about that, and I eventually did until my friend Shay came by. He's a weird dude. He and I were talking, and we heard the creepiest sounding voice in the basement. We went down there to check it out, and we found a tape recorder hidden in this little cubicle on the wall. It wasn't clear what it was saying till we sat down and listened for a while. It was a man apologizing over and over and over, and each time it got more and more distorted. I explained to him how someone committed suicide in the basement, and all he said was, "Cool." He took the recorder home to play it while he used his Ouija board. I haven't heard from him since.
A week passed, and I was on my usual trip to the kitchen at 3 a.m., and I saw the light flickering, and I took a look downstairs. I regret ever doing that. I seen him. I fucking seen him. He stood there looking down and slowly started looking up, and as soon as we made eye contact, the light turned off completely and he was gone. I'll never get his lifeless stare out of my head.
The only reason I'm writing this is because what happened last night. I have a big mirror in my bedroom and a computer chair sitting right in front of it. I was awake, but I couldn't move at all, and I seen him walk in my room and sat down, staring at himself in the mirror. I could see the mirror, and the way he was looking at himself was fucking terrorizing. He turned the chair around and looked in my eyes and started screaming. I jumped up, and it was gone. Everything was back to normal. I know he's in my room. I can feel it. If anything else happens, I'll update this. I have a feeling this is just the beginning.